Hey guys, today's question is XOR queries of a subarray. In this question, we are given with an array and also given with some queries, and we have to take the XOR of all the elements. For every query, we have to take XOR of all the elements in the array from left I to right I index. As in this example, you can see given array is 1348 and queries is 01120333. So for query number 101, we have to take XOR of all the elements from index 0 to 1. So 1 XOR 3, which equals to 2. So the first index of the output will be 2. Okay, the value at the first index of output. After that, for 1 2, we have to take XOR of all the elements from index 1 and 2. So 3 XOR 4 will be here. After that, XOR of 0 1 2 3, all 4 elements. So we will take XOR of 1 XOR 3 XOR 4 XOR 8, which equals to 14. After that, 3 3, so we have to say XOR of only one element, which is 8. So XOR of itself will be same, and that will be our output. So what will be the approach? If you notice, if we take XOR of elements twice, that gives 0. So let's say if we want the XOR of 3 4 and 8, what we can do, we can take XOR of all 4 elements and then again take XOR with 1. Okay, so the XOR of 1 will be cancelled out and we will be remained with XOR of 3 4 8. For another example, if we want to take XOR of 4 and 8, if we know the XOR value of 1 3 4 8, all the values, and we again know the prefix sum, okay, so we take XOR with 1 and 3 of the total XOR of 1 3 4 8. The 1 and 3 will be cancelled out and we will be remain with the value XOR of 4 and 8 that we wanted. So this is a simple question of similar question to prefix sum. For example, if you wanted prefix sum from 4 to 8, what we have to do, we have to take sum of all these elements and then we can subtract with these two elements. Okay, so we will make a vector prefix XOR and we will store XOR of the prefix from starting index to at any particular index. Okay, so we will store, for example, if prefix sum is this array, okay, let's take it here. If prefix sum is this array, we will iterate over this array and we will insert every value by XOR with the previous value, so we get the prefix XOR for every index. After that, we can simply get the answer of queries in O1 time, otherwise the complexity will be very high. So for query 01, for example, for query 01 we have to take XOR of 1 and 3. Okay, so if the query is 0, that means we don't have to take from leftmost index, which is query ij minus 1, because the ARR minus 1 doesn't exist. So we'll take XOR of elements till 1 only, because the left index is 0. So as you can see, for first query we have to take XOR with 1 or 3 only, so we can print the prefix XOR of this element. Okay, but for this example, like 1 and 2, what do you have to do? For 1 and 2, we have to take XOR of all 3 elements, the prefix sum till index 2, and we have to take XOR with index 0. So we will choose this index and decrement it once and take XOR of both this element and this element decremented by 1, and that will be our desired output for that query. So let's code it to understand more. So vector int first take, this one is for prefix XOR, so let's take this prefix XOR. Another for answer, so vector int answer. Now to get prefix XOR, let's take a variable, and now let's iterate over the array, given array, which is ARR i++. Now to get prefix XOR at every index, we will simply take XOR with the previous XOR value, which is XOR and arr I, and we'll push in the new array. So prefix XOR dot push back the current XOR. Okay. Now after this, we will iterate in the queries vector to check for every query. So for int I equals to 0, I less than queries dot size I plus plus. Now we have to take XOR. We have to take prefix sum of XOR of the left index, which will be current element minus 1, and right index will be the same as the right element. So let's take the left and right index separately. So left index will be query I0 minus 1 as I discussed. So left index equals to queries I0, which is the left element minus 1, and let's take right index 2, which is queries I1 simply. Now as we discussed, for this part, if it is 0, the left index is 0, then we have to take XOR of all elements till the right point, which is the prefix XOR at the right index only. So let's, for this case, if left index is less than 0, as we are decrementing left index by minus 1, so if it was 0, then it should be less than 0 in that case. We will simply push the value, that is prefix XOR, to the right index. So prefix XOR to right index simply, and in the else case we have to take XOR of right index and take its XOR again to left index. So answer dot push back. Let's first copy this, and we have to take XOR again with the left index prefix XOR. Now after this, after execution of this for loop, we can simply return our answer. So let's return answer. Okay, let's try to submit. So the code is accepted. Thank you for watching.